Recording in progress.
This meeting is called to order at 7:01 PM. The recording is on. Terry, we have a roll call.
Well, we had a Herb, myself, Sean, Isaac via Zoom. In attendance, Crystal Heyer also Zoom, and Bill Reed present here in the office. I think
Thank
that's
you
all
very
we
much.
got.
Are there any additions to or deletions from the evening's agenda? Hearing none, let's talk about the August 14th minutes. What'd you see?
We had one small change on one of them. Let's see. Oh. It was just, I think you're still used to me second. There was something that Isaac had seconded, but you just put Sean.
So did I?
It was seconded by Isaac. Let me try to find it. So it was the one that I was not.
I was gonna say, I didn't think you were here, huh?
Yeah, so it was one that I wasn't at, but I had to take a look. So I guess that would have been the August 14th meeting. So
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
It's just
Oh,
reflex.
Yeah,
yeah,
I tried to, well, I use old ones and just write over them, change the dates and.
All right, well,
We'll see
I
if
will
I
make
can find
I'll
it.
make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
it's under financials for the August 14th.
Financial paragraph, okay. Yeah.
Well, I'll second that motion.
Awesome, good to go. All those in favor? That's 4. Thank you very much. There's nobody here as a member of the general public, unless Bill has something to say as a member of the general public.
Oh, I got plenty to say, but I won't.
Fair enough. All right, I don't have any town officer reports as far as I know. FEMA is reviewing our very final adopted local hazard mitigation plan. At that point, we can file for reimbursement, so we will get money this year from work we spent money on last year. So
Cool.
we'll have a little bit of a $11,000 surplus push to start the year. Other than that, I don't have any other town officers reports. So highways.
All right, I'll keep it short. I'm working on the grant project on Daisy Hollow Road. Been spot grading, filling potholes, cutting brush, tree branches. And general maintenance on equipment. We've had issues with the tires on the 1 ton. I showed Terry, I got a good deal, 5 brand new tires. And Pete's were able to match those 5 up with another one. So I bought the 5 tires, I paid for them for $300. So it's about a third of the cost of it. The guy wanted $350 and I handed him $301 bills and he took it, so.
Wow.
Next board orders, you will have a thing on there for reimbursement.
That's, you bet.
Of course, there was no tax or anything, so.
Right.
And one other thing, we've been using my pressure washer. I had brought it up before to see if the town wanted to purchase it. I showed it to Terry yesterday.
Good.
It's a $600, or not pressure washer, but generator to run the pressure washer.
Okay, yeah.
And it was a $600 unit. And I had said before that I'd sell it to the town for 4. And the only thing, if you don't want it, that's fine, but I'm gonna sell it, so. It's totally up to you.
Okay.
If you don't wanna buy that one, you're gonna have to do something to be able to wash it quick.
Sure, right.
Yeah, so I'll move that we approve Bill submitting, for reimbursement for those 5 tires. And,
Oh, sorry, I was jumping ahead for the second.
so, and I was gonna say, and we should purchase that generator also. It's a good deal, it's only been used 2-3 times.
I'll second.
Okay, Ron.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you. And we
Was it?
blew a hose on the backhoe today. I don't know what caused, I mean. It's in a weird place. It's just a piece of the outside casing blew off.
Strange. Let me loop back. All those in favor on the motion?
Aye.
Aye, cool, 4. Okay. Do you have hose stock or do you need to grab parts for that or?
Actually, I just found a new hydraulic guy right here in Paula.
All right.
And I can't get hoses for my machine. They have to go to Colchester, the Beauregard's equipment. And they have to order the fittings. Well, this guy in a day got got a fitting for mine and made me a hose.
Wow.
And he does really nice work. He's got a nice little shop, somewhat local.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna try this,
That's
see if we can do hoses for that.
Great resource, yeah.
So I'm thinking we'll have it back in business tomorrow.
Very good. All right. Anything else for us?
Nope.
Okay. There's no road commissioner report for us. What I did, and I think you've all got a copy of it, is I literally went back to the job descriptions of the highway commissioner and the road foreman and just listed as they stand what the responsibilities are. The first ones that are in green tint are the commissioner's responsibilities as currently written. The ones that are in yellow tint, the second set, are the road foreman's responsibilities as currently written. It feels to me, as I'm just looking at the commissioner job, a lot of it feels like it should be the foreman's responsibility. It's like assisting the select board in the development of the annual highway budget. Bill has always done that, right? That's what we do. Getting select board approval for a prioritized list of projects and giving us cost estimates for projects. That's the foreman does that, I think. So I think a lot of this and some of it, like looking at grants and writing grant proposals and managing funds, I think the new board assistant can be really productive around that, right? So here's my and I don't expect any kind of vote on this, but my random proposal is that the next year in the select board, everybody on the select board has one extra job. So one person will take on the highway liaison. and be the person who looks at expenses that are beyond $2,000 and does the work of getting bids on equipment and things like that. One person will be the emergency manager and be responsible not for writing the hazard mitigation or the emergency management plan, that can be the town assistant, but, you know, opening this building in a case of emergency. And, you know, every job on the select board can have one extra thing attached to it. It would save us elected stuff. And I would propose also then that the select board stipend be raised to $3,000. Because everybody's gonna have a real job attached along with meetings and budget. So that's just my thought right now. Because it seems to me that most of the things we're asking people to do, the select board ends up doing them anyway. And I would just make it formal. Then you don't have to hunt for a emergency management director, you don't have to hunt for a health officer, you don't have to, you know, beat the bushes for important positions that don't come up all that often, but when they do, we need somebody in the seat.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Isaac, what's that sound like to you?
Um, well, it's an interesting idea. Does that mean that there's 5 roles, or that we would have to pick 5 roles and one person gets each of those, or is there like what's that list look like and who's taking what? And yeah, it's an interesting thought. We have to come up with what those tasks are basically and figure out, because then if it's everyone also then gets an increased stipend at the same rate, is each of those equally difficult and or time consuming? And yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, just to be fair around dispersing the workload so that
Yeah.
somebody doesn't get a giant job and somebody get a nothing job and the pay rate's the same.
Yeah. And on the commissioner foreman front as well, after all the comments and questions on the right, that I believe you did all of that, correct? At the end of it, there's I don't know that there's like 2 or 3 at the end of that wouldn't be the foreman. Um, most of that, if like you were saying, most of it turns into the foreman's role. I would argue, I think that the first 2 are what so number 1 and number 2 is what Carl is considering the commissioner's job. And I don't disagree with him on that. I don't think it seems like that's, if he's willing to do it, and if any commissioner is willing to do it, seems like a reasonable task for them to do, and then oversee it being followed through by the town crew. But I won't. That's all I've got.
All right. I'm gonna turn my sound back off here for a second. I think we can have that if you like.
Did you take them out? When did you
That
send them out?
that came in the packet of stuff that was sent automatically by the town's website.
Okay.
The website actually is pretty cool. So it sends out the agenda and it sends out the packet, which
Good.
includes the whatever materials we're gonna consider plus the unapproved minutes. And it doesn't actually send documents, it sends a link to where those documents live on the website. So,
I've got to have Patty fix it for me, because I was getting bombarded, probably everybody was,
oh yeah,
first few days, and
get the daily message.
I got sick of that pretty fast and I unsubscribed.
Mhm.
I got it last night and it said you could, go here and whatever and resubscribe yourself, and I did that, and it said you have to see somebody for help, so.
Yeah, Patty has said that she's the
I mean, for
the
us, to
login and
unsubscribe,
subscription function is a little flinky.
I think she was saying for us, for the unsubscribe, to let her know what we didn't
Yeah,
want.
cause you
Right.
can go in and check the things that you want.
Right, but-
I know, she said not to do it and I did it anyway.
What did we?
The first couple of days, it's getting pretty PO.
Yeah, and it's not, I mean, there's just like, it's a nice day, and like,
Yeah.
I still have those just because I haven't sent the list of.
All right.
If that's the way it's gonna be every day, then.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the sound off for a second and let Isaac speak. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you, Herb. So what I found super helpful, but on the website thing, the first thing you press is the drop down menu, go to select, like even if you unsubscribe to everything, you go to the select board, and then it'll immediately pop up with agenda and packet. And that's what normally Herb would be sending out every week, was this like list of the links and stuff. It's all right there on the front page now, and everything pops. It's actually really cool and very efficient. So that's it.
And it's also totally publicly available, so even if you're not subscribed to it, you still have the chance to go there and get all the materials that we're gonna consider in public session.
Mhm.
So it's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's like, no, I saw the agenda, I didn't see all
Yeah.
the other materials, but.
Yeah. So one thing I will just take a break right now and say thank you to Patty and to Kimberly and Haley, who also worked on the town's website. It's a very handsome website, and I think it's a very effective website. I think she's really helped pull that together wonderfully.
Yeah.
I agree. I second that.
Awesome. All those in favor of saying thank you to Patty? Aye. Very good. All right, so let's roll forward to,
Hang on, but I got a couple of little things.
oh, go for it.
Mowing machine, did you get my email, Bill, on that? Or did you see an email? And I hope we have the index in here this week. Anyway, there it is. To get the second, I asked, I believe, and we talked about it last time, I asked for the last week of September, which I think is like the 28th or 29th, and Bill is leaving the first, I believe, so. But that's the week I kind of reserved with Joe and Bree. I imagine we can move it up a week if we need to or whatever, but. You know, the 29th should be Monday. I sent her an email on that last night. Okay. Didn't look to see if she responded, but I'm sure that week's all right. She said it'd be the same procedure as before. Joe would prep it and prepare it, be all good to go when we could pick it up there. That's one thing. And the only other thing I had was, I thought last time somebody was going to set up a meeting with the select board or most of the select board members, and Philip and Bill and Chuck, before Chuck started. And if my reading of the calendar is correct, I think Labor Day is Monday, so
Right.
that never happened or hasn't happened yet, as far as I know.
Right.
And time is short, so. Oh, and another thing relative to that was, we have a folder here for Chuck, and there's a bunch of paperwork that needs to be filled out that Ed kind of grilled me on last week, and I left a message for Carl, phone message for him, to let him know that Chuck needed to fill out paperwork, and it's still blank, so that's all I'm saying.
Right. So on a serious note, has anybody heard from Carl? Is there any possibility he's not well?
He was around yesterday, and I think he's, Philip spoke with him.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I've seen him driving by with.
Yeah.
Oh, he was actually,
Whatever.
he was down behind the firehouse rounding up cattle this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Probably still is.
He may well still be doing that, right? All right.
The meeting,
Yeah.
I thought the board was gonna meet with Chuck and Philip to get a feel on.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, if I should even not, just not.
Yeah, I
not
don't
even be
remember
there.
if you were part of that or not, but it was the board.
I think you get a lot more out of seeing how they interact
Yeah.
without me being.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no point
Right.
in me.
Right, yeah, right, exactly. So I would be comfortable if Terry, if you wanted to be there on Tuesday, on Chuck's first day on the job, and sort of, have just have the conversation about, here's what we hope will be true. Here's how we hope the two of you will work together. Here's who you can ask questions of once Bill is finished in the end of September. I think that having all the board members there may not be as effective as having a more casual conversation. And you've been the closest to the road crew for the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, I don't mind, we can do that, it just, yeah, we were kind of hoping to see, what the interaction
Yeah.
might be, and I don't know if, we talked about it before, if, Phillips maybe expectations or was kind of led to, I don't know if he was led to believe, this might not be the right terminology, but anyway, if he thought he was gonna be, because we didn't have anybody else at that time, so
Right.
he was gonna
Right,
more or less be the main man.
right,
I
And
think he was, because of the discussion we had during his interview, that he was gonna have the option to move up. He knew he wasn't gonna just jump in my place.
right,
But in the discussion, what we had talked about when he committed to going full-time was him having the ability to set up the work schedule so that he could operate his own business like I did for years.
right.
And I think that was his biggest concern now, that if he's not able to do that, then what is?
Right, and we can certainly include that as part of the conversation about flexibility of hours. And times when, the work schedule is either A, on demand by necessity, or B, there's something that we need done, there's a project that's going on and we need you here X times, but on other periods of time, if you get your hours in, we're not so concerned about when they are.
And he understands his priorities are the town.
Yeah.
He does.
yeah,
I made him understand that when he took the job full
Right.
time, that his first priority is here, so he
yeah,
does realize that.
I think that's an additional discussion, or kind of I mean, it's similar, but a separate discussion, because yes, we kind of promised in that. And whether it's written in the policy or not, you can't do this or that. We promised that, and I think we can make allowances as we allowed a flexible schedule with you. Particularly in the summertime, if that works for Philip,
Yeah,
we can accommodate that. I personally, anyway, I have no problem with that.
Well, that is in the personnel policy that the road foreman sets up the work schedules. It's gotta be approved by the board, but.
Right.
yeah, I don't have any trouble with that, and one of the things that the current job description for the highway foreman does say is that the foreman needs to be able to operate every bit of town equipment, and so until Philip finishes his CDL, he's
Right.
not eligible
He's not
to do
eligible
that anyway.
Right.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I don't think.
And Terry, if you would like me to be there for part of that conversation, I'm happy to do it, but I don't think you need to drag them all in here and have a meeting around this table with
Right.
all of us.
Yeah, I think the more the better, just for, if possible.
Yeah,
I mean, Carl should be there. He knows Chuck, I think, probably better than any of us. I mean, I know Chuck a little bit,
right.
no problem, but.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, with Philip, as far as he does too, I mean, Chuck was even saying he's not looking to do it for 20 years,
Right.
It's
Right.
probably just a handful of years, likely.
Right.
And that's good. I mean, I think that gives a little time to get stuff, to get the experience under his belt and
Right.
ultimately
Right.
decide if that is where he
Right.
wants to be with things. So
And to have a couple of years of direct supervision while he's driving the heavy trucks too.
Right.
That's a
So
big
I
thing.
think it's I think it's actually a really good way that it's working, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is really, really good for us if, you know, you have Chuck for whatever, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Yeah. And hopefully Philip stays on. Yeah, I think that'd be good, Herb, if you're, you know, if you're available, if you're interested.
Yeah, sure.
I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, Tuesday
And
morning.
I'll try to get a hold of Carl too now and then.
Okay, good.
We wait until 9 o'clock, we can get him at the store, but. No.
All right.
Good. Sounds good.
Good, thank you. All right, town lands. I don't have any updates on the town office. Crystal, are you here? Crystal, are you here? And we will come back to Crystal if she can. She said she had to step away to take another call, so she may not come right back with us. Other town lands, I've been back and forth a little bit with Frank Parent. He is now got the current survey for the West Street property, so he's working with his surveyor to do the update of that. So the project is still moving. And again, God knows if any human beings still work at FEMA once we submit that request. It might sit on somebody's desk for 5 months. So I don't know how fast we're gonna go on that. Okay. Solid waste.
Nothing particular. That training date that I was talking about is September 29th. That's for any facility that collects any of the materials, various materials for us. It's batteries and electronics. And so the 2-hour training, either in person at the Rutland Town office, or you can do it via Zoom. But it's mandatory for at least one person then that collects those items.
Okay. All right.
So I'll have to remind Amanda, and I'll try to go to that, but I'll speak with Amanda about that.
Okay, great. And we're still set up for Large Waste Day on the first Saturday of October.
Right, probably next time, remind me if I forget, we'll start talking about that and get out our poster and our little blurb on it.
I'll ask Amanda which station she wants to work at, and I'll take the other one.
Great, thank you. And yeah, everybody else, keep your options open if you're available, hopefully, to work.
Good. All right. Correspondence.
Correspondence, we had a safety recall notice for the FL 967 Freightliner drag link tapered joint. I think, is that the big truck or the small?
The big truck, no,
Earl's, that's something we just fixed
well, a year ago.
a year ago, right? You know, they're pretty current. Please take this opportunity to contact an authorized Freightliner dealer to arrange to have recalls performed free of charge.
So given that we had that repair done, we might call our Freightliner dealer and say, you know, given that it's now under recall, we know that this was a problem that you've identified. Can you reimburse us?
No, it was, we didn't pay for it, I don't believe.
Oh, is that true?
Because Earl's can fix their service.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, good.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
But I can talk to Jimmy and see if they've got the, because I'm sure they submitted their bill to get paid for it. I'll just check with them and make sure that.
Do you want that?
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
because I can look it up too in their folder. We have,
But we wouldn't have anything addressing this in the whole.
well, no, but we have the invoice from Earl's that fixed whatever, and
I'm thinking probably not with this.
well,
Because
it wouldn't identify that specific thing, but there should be something in there if they did some front end work and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I thought they just
Maybe, well, maybe
took
not.
care of all that themselves, because I
don't
gave
know.
them the. Like this thing that we got before, they just took care of the whole thing.
There's Carl late arrival, maybe. We have a $36.30 check for, well, a copy of it anyway, from electronics recycling.
No, okay, good.
We have a propaganda postcard for playground grant. Anyone else look at that? Otherwise, I think I'll file it.
Okay.
And the only other thing is a overweight permit for Immaculate Lane Contracting. Did their certificate of insurance and everything, so it looks like it's legitimate.
Okay.
I'll move to approve that and have Herb sign.
Yeah. Yeah. And something that. Any further commentary? All those in favor?
Aye. That's it on correspondence.
Okay. Carl, welcome. I hear you're out wrangling today.
Never ends, does it?
Well, oh. She was out at Pepper's 2 years ago, and she probably knows her way back. That's the first place I looked, but I didn't find her.
All right. Let's look at some board orders. Isaac, just so you can say you've seen him. There you go.
Want any of us to forge your name?
Derek.
The sheriff was here earlier today too, and I went 3 days in a row. Did he really?
Yeah, yesterday we sat on schoolhouse, so.
Oh, good. First day of school. He was here in the office parking lot this morning.
Did what I saw him yesterday, or the day before yesterday.
And see in here, we've got our annual payment to Memrick, so in case anybody doesn't know what that is, we'll put that on all of our software for that. Listers and treasurer and things like that. And we do have a folder in there for the town meeting, or, yeah, now town meeting appropriations request, we've only got that one so far.
If.
Run across, Darren. Yesterday. Looks like the sign is a fox, but it looks brown. I kind of only caught really quick.
Have the tail?
Well, yeah,
Bobcat,
it's so, yeah, but a bobcat's like a light, but this is like a dark. I mean, almost like a bear cut, but it wasn't
Oh,
kind
man.
of compact. Although there was a bear that was not across the road. I think
I
it
saw
might have
one
been
last Tuesday morning. When I come in one across right below Muriel Smith's
Yeah,
property.
Cut.
No,
Bear?
good size.
yeah, there was a good. Maybe might have still been on there, you can't quite even do it once and get it, wasn't. Seen enough of them, it's just kind of, oh, I think we should go down. Well, it's not me looking down and seeing anything, so we can.
I have a problem with the boots on going right now.
Really?
Yeah, well, no water, so everything's concentrated to the water holes and it's just spreading like water. It is, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I heard, was last night, but they definitely had heard, just an owl and like thought right before that. I was. Not really with it. Yeah, I woke up with a belly ache and it literally took me like a minute to get out of my room, like whenever I opened the door, I'm like, why does this door have a curtain by it? I was going to go out the door outside and I'm like sitting there and I was like, oh no, it's this the other way, I tripped over the bed. And then I just stopped in the room, and I stood there for a minute until I was kind of full of it, like. It's no. No idea what it was for me, it was kind of fascinating.
Yeah, well, I'll embarrass myself with my senior moment. I was getting myself a drink of iced tea yesterday and I asked Nora what she wanted and she said, I'd like to get some orange juice and seltzer. And I said, okay, so I'm in the fridge and I'm rooting around, the fridge is kind of full. And I find the seltzer bottle and I'm like, I don't think we have any orange juice. And she said, yeah, well, just have them all. And I said, the only thing I see is grapefruit juice. It took me 30 seconds to realize it was in his hand.
I know you know this already, but it doesn't get any better. Don't worry until you start leaving your glasses or your car.
If I set something down, it's lost to history.
Yeah, that's the danger, the keys
and
and.
driving a bus for a long time when you pull up to the railroad tracks with your own car.
Stop and open the door.
Or reach for the
Yeah, right. For the head.
Yeah, that is one of the big problems with the, keys that are just in the car, right? At least in the past, we're like, all right, all right, it's in the ignition, now it's just like, well,
Yeah.
it's in the car somewhere. When we were traveling somewhere, we got to the airport and like looking for the keys and like, I think we packed them. So we just kept moving things out, and I would just, I'm like, no, car's still starting, it's still in here, and we moved one bag out, I'm like, car's not starting anymore, it's in that bag.
And my older daughter this past weekend was switching vehicles and Laura was having a fit, she couldn't find her sunglasses. Her sister went over and that's my birthday for your birthday. Then it started.
Start swinging that.
Yeah, that's way too young.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. That's good.
If I didn't get sick last weekend, I'll never get motion sick.
Just to drive it with the.
No, we went deep sea fishing.
Oh,
Yeah, it was rough.
We couldn't go out very far, we had to fish in the coves and stuff, it was. The wind was terrible. Nobody got sick. We had two on, my daughter's friend, it was her birthday. So her boyfriend got the first fish on, handed her the rod and. Went under, she fight, I mean, she was, we figured it was a straight bass, but it was fighting hard, it got under the boat and cut the line. So I got the second one on, so, well, Let her embarrass herself. And they're the poultry lots, that one too, but they're using a new hook. It's almost impossible to set the hook on. It's almost like a complete circle.
Hmm.
Cause they're having a problem with a lot of fish dying. They'd swallow the hook and then rip their innards out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Jody was saying she heard some report or something and it was like 70% of fish die when you get them. I'm like, I never see that many. I mean, you know, there'll be a couple that it's like, no, we might as well just, you know, it's barely a keeper, but we're keeping it because it's not gonna make me over back. Or we're throwing it up towards shore, or I can leave it. But I don't see other stuff floating all the time out there. Maybe it's a day or two. I don't know.
All right, I'll move to accept the board orders as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Further commentary? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so
You wanna back up just a little bit for.
I want to do a couple of things. One, I want to back up because Crystal just came back in the
Come
room.
back.
So Crystal, if you will unmute yourself, I'm going to play your volume, play your voice through my speaker here. And none of us can talk because it sets up feedback. So you are on right now.
All right, captive audience, perfect. I was not wrangling cows with Carl, even though we did arrive at the same time. I did see him in the backyard, but I ran the other direction. So yes, all things library. So we've got our contract with Naylor and Breen signed and finalized. They are saying probably a mid-October start date right now. That's as close to specific as they'll get. They're closing out some other contracts and getting everything all set. So maybe before that, but that's what they're saying right now is mid-October. The line of credit is working its way through the underwriters at M&T. They had some questions for Jenny, but she was able to answer them. And so that's continuing along the process. Hopefully we'll have those papers for you all in your next meeting. Then Herb, I did email you, but Peter had a question about the builder's risk insurance. So he was looking, Naylor and Breen was looking for an answer on that. And I think that's probably the highlights for now.
Okay, I will tomorrow talk to the Vermont League Insurance Company and see what they have to say about builders insurance. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, okay. If you get an answer, just if you could let Peter know, because they just need to know, I think, if the town can do it or if they have to include it on their end, I think is just the differentiation.
Got it.
Oh, I thought you were off on that before I jumped on it. But, I think Peter had tracked down the current buildings paperwork. I'm blanking on the word right now. The like owning the building, your deed.
Oh.
Tracked down all that info and there didn't seem to be any problems on any of that paperwork about, you know, whatever we're gonna ultimately do with the building, whether it's with a sell or repurpose, or like there wasn't any stipulations with the church sale.
Good.
That's the old building you're talking about.
Yes.
The existing building, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Crystal, anything else you'd like to add?
Nope, that's it.
All right, I'm cutting my sound off here. This is, I don't know why we're not getting sound through the TV tonight. We're only getting it through my computer. All right, thank you very much. I don't think we have anything legal to discuss. With other business, I did have a chat with Amanda about the board assistant position. She is interested. So I'd like to talk with her further about what that entails and find out what her history is around things like that, but she is interested, so that would be worth pursuing. I have to say, I've been busy enough that I have not posted it elsewhere yet, so I still think we do want to post it. I don't think we just want to automatically go that way. But I do think that she'd be great if she has the history to do it. She's been nothing but reliable and eager to work so far.
Anything, from the engineer? Any word or anything?
He is at work. He has contacted Patty to get the deed for the property, so he's working with his surveyor to update the boundary. But I don't have an estimated time for him. And as we said a little earlier this evening, God knows when he files an application with FEMA, how long they're gonna sit on it. They're desperately understaffed and they may not get it turned around to us in any decent amount of time. So, I made a couple of copies of this, and I think it's a lot to chew on in live time, so maybe we come back to it. But as I said at the last meeting, I did go through the, current description of the, road foreman and road commissioner. And so what you have in front of you is the current as written. Each one of those numbered cells is one of the responsibilities of the two positions as it's currently ranked. And the last column, the comments and questions, are just my comments and thoughts about it. I'm not sure, how we exactly move forward on finalizing commissioner's description. Certainly, it's not something that it never works to try to write something in a room with 5 people. Right, somebody needs to write something and bring it back. But Carl, one of the things that I mentioned earlier this evening, and is just a kind of wild thought I had in the last couple of days, is that there are so many town positions that go begging all the time, like EMD and health officer and all of that, that it may be worth having each of the members of the board take on one other thing, road commissioner being one of them. And that the stipend for being on the board goes to $3,000 because everybody will have some other larger thing to do. And just the expectation is that we don't have to hunt for somebody every year to do various things, that it just becomes, the board has somebody on the board with their eyes on the highway and somebody has their eyes on emergency management. So that's just a thought to consider as we move forward. But, so what I've got here is just the current documents, right? So there was, I think 16 items and the responsibilities of the road commissioner, and there's 18 items and the responsibilities of the highway foreman. So basically, this hasn't been rewritten since 2009. Probably time to come to terms with how we want to move forward. And I want to be really clear that none of this is about personalities, right? That this is, if we rewrite a job description now and it lasts for another 15 years, none of us are going to be involved, So this is really us setting ourselves up for the next 5-10 years of management. So. And one of the things also is, for instance, Highway Commissioner number 7 with looking at issues about grants and grant applications and follow-up. I think that would be a great thing for getting assistance from the new board assistant to do, because they're already going to be set up to do town grants. They should be able to do grants for the town writ large, which includes highway. The maintain accurate records, number 13, maintain accurate records regarding the town highway department. That feels to me like the foreman could do that in conjunction with the new board assistant. Have an administrative assistant who helps organize records. So I think that we will sort this out maybe more than just 2 people. Right? There may be things here that other folks are better positioned to do. And I'm really looking forward to the board assistant being able to help us manage a lot of things. So Carl, I don't know if you saw did you get an email from the town's website? Basically what happens now is that I upload the agenda. I send it to Patty. I send her the agenda and all the meeting documents. And everybody who's subscribed as a member of the select board or somebody who's interested in select board gets an email with a link to those documents. So it all comes now from the website rather than from me. So I don't know if you saw any of
Yeah,
these
I
things.
got this.
Okay.
Yeah, I got.
So
this.
that's part of why it's a difficult discussion, because people haven't had them in advance. So if that's problematic, then we'll figure out another way to get the documents to everybody. But that's what the new website is set up to do. It's basically, if you're subscribed, it sends you automatically the links to every document that's pertinent to a meeting that you're subscribed to.
No, I do believe it was the minutes and the agenda and this you had.
Yeah, that was the three things that I
I don't
had.
know if there's anything.
No, that was it. That was just those three things.
There was one other item on there that I didn't click on, but I didn't know what that was.
Right. All right.
One thing on that, Herb,
Yeah,
as of now, the commissioner is an elected position.
correct.
So it has to go on the ballot this year
Right,
in March to make it a non-elected position.
right.
To go back to the old way that the board and its delegate
Right,
would oversee the highway.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that was the old way before it got elected or voted to be an elected position.
right. Yeah, and I think that it makes sense, given how we scramble every year to cover things. And there's a lot of jobs like emergency manager that aren't like steady jobs, but somebody has to be the person who opens this building during heat wave or during a power outage. So, you know, having the stipend go up and having everybody take on one extra piece of work feels to me like a reasonable approach. And again, you know, no, it's not about me because I won't be part of the next year of the board. But it just feels like that's the board needs to have its eyes on things, and that's the way to do it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not a bad thought. There's enough work to go around
Yeah,
to try to keep track of things.
okay. So to Isaac's earlier point, I'd be happy to try to figure out what roles might be distributed across the select board for next year and think about how to make that fair so that one person doesn't have a huge overload and somebody else have a really easy cast off job and not be compensated fairly for the extra work that somebody does.
But that's different than this.
That is different than this, and the question
Because-
here is,
We need to
yeah,
get this
are we?
ironed out
Right,
before. You know, because you've still got a year and a half left.
yeah,
If you're going to do away with the position. So, until that point.
somebody bothering you over there?
Playing for. Not bothering me anymore.
All right. So what's our best procedure for moving forward? Do we want to try to hash these things out tonight live, or do we want to be prepared for a discussion with this homework in your hands for the next meeting? I'm not, go ahead, Isaac. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would rather do it when I'm there because this is a pain. Um, but you know, obviously, if everyone's ready to go, we can make it work. But my vote would be next meeting to make it a little bit easier for me to have a say.
No, I'd be happy to do it at the next meeting. As I said earlier, I'm thrashed. I did 6 hours worth of firewood today and not sleeping because of the dogs, so I'm happy to go home. But so consider this as home, right? Think about, you know, as you go down through these things, think about which direction you put the arrow. Does this go to the commissioner's side? Does this go to the foreman's side? And how do we deploy the board assistant to help us fill in some of this work? So. And we can talk about that line by line at the next meeting. I'm happy to do that.
Good.
All right. Good.
And then I think we need to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
For a highway, for Carl wasn't here. And don't know if you got my phone message that Chuck needs to come in and fill out some paperwork to get enrolled in the drug testing program. Because that doesn't just happen, you know, Monday or Tuesday is really day one, but that doesn't mean that the name, I can't remember the name of the company, but they're not gonna be here Tuesday waiting to test them. We gotta get them enrolled, the paperwork, gotta get them enrolled, and then it might be next week, it might be 3 weeks from now. So that needs to happen before he can operate CDL equipment. So if he has a folder here, right, with some paperwork that needs to be filled out. I don't know if you, well, we'll see him Tuesday morning. At this point, you probably won't. Probably won't see him tomorrow. Or what?
And he told me there was no paperwork.
Well, 2 weeks ago, she was kind of
Well,
filling out
they
a
were-
call because it hadn't been filled out yet. So there's that. That needs to be done as soon as possible.
This is the insurance paperwork.
There's insurance, but there's stuff for the.
And the withholdings. Okay.
The first page there is just normal.
She was talking about the testing.
So I guess we'll probably take care of that Tuesday. The other thing is Tuesday, Monday's a holiday, so I assume it's Tuesday, and maybe we should meet and just, or I'm gonna be up there, Herb, I believe, is gonna be up there, and just to talk with Philip and Chuck and welcome them and whatever, and see how things shake out. You know, and introduce those two and whatever, and see what some of our basic plans and expectations are. So it'd be good if you're available for that. I don't know, other than that, I don't know if we had anything,
Yeah, I think that's it.
anything much, but.
Good. So 7 AM at the garage?
7 AM.
I'll be there.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's go back to the agenda. I don't think we have any other major, crime, other business to deal with tonight. So I would make a motion to adjourn. Yeah, thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned at 7:58 PM. We did not break our record, but still, an hour, I'm all right with that. That's a good thing.
That's pretty good.
Isaac, thank you very much for being with us from your distance.
Yeah, no worries.
It's better than.